Hello and welcome along to another edition of Home Conscious TV. Today we're talking about getting your first client. Where do you find clients? This is one of the most asked questions of any interior designer, and I would say categorically that there are expensive ways and there are less expensive ways of doing this. I have learned the hard way over the years. Getting that first client is a very important step, and many entrepreneurs and even business books talk about getting the first client and that it gives you proof that you're in business at all. I think of it as the start of the business journey. It's a very exciting moment and it's also a defining one. The first thing to say is that they can be like buses. You want one, but three come along at the same time. It may well be that you meet a client and the client picks you because they have now met you and they like you, and this is something wonderful, but that happens quite seldomly, to be perfectly honest. So how do you get your first client? Where do they come from? Let's look at the runners and riders. Word of mouth is by far the most effective way to acquire clients. And word of mouth covers a broad spectrum of ways, from suppliers recommending you, or clients recommending you to their friends and family, to hearing from estate agents about a property to refurbish, to builders passing on their clients. All this comes under word of mouth. Mostly you get work from friends of clients. They want what their friends have, and if they can get you to do what you've done for their friends, then they'll be pleased. You won't get every job that you go for. Some just want to meet you, some just want to talk things through, some wants to bounce around ideas and want to talk it over with you. Either way, recommendations can be the lifeblood when you're starting out. Recommendations prove that you've done a good job and people want to rehire you and book you based on what they've seen. Paid for advertising is money to throw away and is for the larger companies only. Don't even try to compete with them. Most of these campaigns are about brand awareness, and you're not there yet unless you have an injection of venture capital forthcoming and you want to spend it all on full and half-page advertisements. Do you get any return from these? I never have, but those larger companies keep their name in the forefront of people's minds and it works for them. The exception to this is Facebook, where you can get really targeted with your clients and your advertising. See Amy Porterfield on how to do it right. Promotion and advertorials within magazines is something that can be done, but is a paid for placement. Yes, it looks like an article and you're still paying handsomely for it. I have not had much traction from these. It's far better to do features with journalists that name check you, I feel. The good thing to realise about paid advertising is that you will undoubtedly be included in other parts of the magazine, if you already advertise with them, that is. Look at Vogue magazine. When they arrange for clothes to be in the magazine shoots and photographed by famous photographers, they pick first and foremost from the list of heavily invested advertisers that they've had: Ralph Lauren, Fendi, Chanel. It's all about the brands that advertise. The same is true of design companies. Promotions are only relevant if you have some spare marketing money to spend on a 2 to 3 page spread. That highlights your latest work, of course. Nothing sells more than before and after shots, from weight loss to health conditions, and from fashion style to hairdressing. If you're new and have no before and after shots, then you'll be relying on a picture of you and some text, and you'll have to be clear and convincing as to why they should even feature you at all. My personal favourite is public relations. This is one of the best ways to market yourself and without spending cash. Writers and editors and journalists have space to fill, even more so online. The trick is to find your market. Everyone thinks of themselves as global these days, and digitally that's true, but remember, you have to travel to these properties in order to complete the work. So do your suppliers, and that's no good if you're featured in a publication 50 miles away that you and your suppliers are not able or willing to travel the distance to. Let's look at the different ways that you can engage these writers and journalists. Look at your local mags. What are they? List them. Look for any interior pages. Do they have them? Look for local news pages. Does it have the name of the person who wrote it? Sometimes it will have their email, and sometimes you'll have to go to the masthead. What is the masthead? This is the list of people that compile the magazine. Sometimes it gives a contact email for each of them, but mostly it doesn't. If it does, make a note of it. Now all you need to do is to email them. If there is no email, use the main contact email and mark it for the attention of the person who you are trying to reach. If you don't have their email, call up and ask for it and explain that you are a local business, you have a local news story that you want to give to them. When you have the email, explain who you are, what you do, what you offer, and that you are local. Suggest an interview with them or a question and answer written article that they can just cut and paste into an article. Make it easy for them. Tell them you can supply images of you and your work if you have some of your work images at that stage. A step up from this is to email the editor directly. If you can get the editor's email, then that's brilliant. This is where you can be more bold with your suggestions. How about a column? They haven't got one? You can do that. How about a 3-month trial, 200 to 300 words? That shouldn't be a problem for you, should it? Ask the editor to try it and see if people email in with their problems for you to answer and solve. Things to note. Don't be too over-friendly. Keep it short. Include a link to your website and be patient. They have hundreds of emails coming in. If they reply no thanks, reply to them and ask them if they have any supplements that would be suitable for you to appear in. Be prepared for them to ask you to advertise with them. All the while, keep your email and telephone calls conversational. They want to know that you can speak as well as write. Keep it human. It's always great when suppliers can pass on their gratitude to you by recommending you. This has happened a number of times to me, and it's always nice. Furthermore, you go more out of your way to help these new clients as you want to do your suppliers proud and do a good job for them, because hopefully they've done a good job for you in the past. Recommendations can be varied both in financial size and project detail from suppliers, but they tend to be more because it's recommendations from your peers, as it were. The other crucial thing with suppliers' recommendations is that you often get background detail on the prospective clients beforehand. I've had kitchens and whole houses, commercial work, maintenance work, all sorts of recommendations. Well worth the effort. I have not had many leads from residential clients from social media, but I have had commercial clients crop up now and again. Social media is more brand building rather than attracting clients. Social media is also good for getting in touch with your peers and the people that you want to contact and collaborate with. But 2 of these platforms are very important, and these are Instagram and Pinterest. Pinterest and Instagram will showcase your work because they are visual, and at first, of course, you won't have any work to put on there, but eventually you will, and you can use these platforms to your advantage. But to start off with, just follow a few accounts that you like, start building your Pinterest boards and Instagram accounts that reflect you and your work. In conclusion, I would say that there are many ways to get clients, and these are just a few of the ways that I have used both in the past and currently in order to attract clients. Although you won't see any advertising from me, I have more than enough work coming in, and that's through 100% recommendation, which clearly works both for me and for my clients. So that's all for this video. If you have learned something from this, like, share and subscribe, and you'll be ready for the next session. Happy designing!